Hello there, it's been a while. I'm Pt1, and in today's tutorial, you will learn about some of the basics of the brush tools. So, the brush tool is actually found right here. This is the brush tool, and if you right click it, you can see all your different options. You have the pencil and the color replacement tool. These are all considered brush tools as well. This is a clone stamp, also a brush tool, not the brush tool, don't confuse them. It's called that because you can use custom brushes, like after you download and stuff, just like you can with a regular brush tool. However, it's a clone stamp, so again, don't confuse them. This is the history brush. This is a little bit different. See, you can use custom brushes just like you can with the other brush tools. But what makes it unique is you can draw depending on your history state. So here, I'll demonstrate it really briefly. So like, I don't know, let's pick a random color. And then let's throw in a squiggle of that, and we'll throw in a squiggle of this. And then in my history states, I can set where I want the history state right in this column. Let's go back to here. Now when I use my history brush, as soon as it's kind of big, see, I'm drawing in that exact history. That can be very advantageous, as you can probably tell, because if let's say, there's several situations. You can basically use it as an eraser if you don't feel like getting rid of everything. I don't know, it's kind of hard to explain. You can figure it out. Now, the other thing that's under the history brush is the art history brush. Now, that's really a lot different, okay? Because it has different styles that you can use. When you go back in the history state, when you're painting over in the history state, you can use these different styles, and it just looks different. Like, see, you can dab in that history state. You can do this. So it's a little bit different, and it's fun to play with. I have yet to seriously use it in a piece of art. The eraser tool, that's self-explanatory. Again, you can use custom brushes if you have them, so take advantage of that. Because I'm on the background layer, it's erasing to background color, which is currently black. So, see, now it's erasing like it should. Excuse me. The gradient and paint bucket do not count as brush tools, I'm sorry. However, the blur, sharpen, and smudge tools do. Now, they're a little bit different, though, in that, never mind, you can use custom brushes. I was about to say you couldn't. Shut up. Smudge tool? Oh, you can even use it in smudge tool. There's something new every day. So yeah, those are brush tools as well. And just like the other brush tools, you can use custom brushes. It's pretty cool. Burn tool. Yeah, the burn tool, dodge, and sponge. Again, they're also brush tools. Same with all these spot healing brushes and tools. Same fucking difference. Okay. Now we've explained tools, let's talk about the palette for a second. So this is your brush palette, alright? It'd help if I had the brush tool selected. So with the brush tool palette, you have different options. So here in the brush tool shape, which is usually the first thing you're on, you can set your spacing, your hardness, and your diameter. And you can also flip it around if you want. That's only useful if you have a custom brush. If it's just a circle, you won't notice anything. Here you can also set your angle. Again, not useful on a circle brush like what I have. Here, I'll give you like a, I don't know where the hell this is. Let's go to Rose. I don't know who that is. It's probably one of the things. So yeah, see? Spins it around. It's just magic. Now spacing, by default, it's 25%. If you have a circle brush, you won't notice the difference. See, I'll just go back to that. Circle brush, see, space 25%, you don't notice any difference. However, as you increase it, oh, look at that. And you decrease it, it gets back down. So that's spacing. You get it? I think it's self-explanatory. Shape dynamics. So I'm not going to explain every little thing because I don't know how every little thing works. I'm sorry. But shape dynamics, I do know how they work. Now, see these little controllers? I'd highly recommend you keep them off unless you have a tablet like I do. When you have a tablet, keep it on pen pressure. That's your best friend. I don't like using roundness jitter. Anyway, so that's that. By default, all these are set to 0%. However, these are just the minimum stuff. You can increase it, decrease it as you so please. When it's set to pen pressure, I don't recommend messing with that because, you know, again, pen pressure, and as you press harder, it'll increase and do whatever it wants on its own. So don't worry about that. Scattering, I know how this works. Actually, I should turn it on, I guess. So scattering, as the name implies, it scatters your stuff. You know, when you draw, everything gets a little bit scattered up. I usually have it set to 1000% because of the stuff I do, but as you can probably already tell, the higher it is, the more scattered it gets. Count, that's how random an amount you have. You know, that's how clumpy it gets, as you can see. And yeah, that's that. I don't really know what texture is. I think that lets you paint with a texture or something. Not quite sure what dual brush does. I heard it lets you use two brushes at once or something or other. I don't know. Color dynamics, I know how those work. So this lets you draw using different colors, sort of. It's pretty cool. You can, again, keep your control off unless you have a tablet, in which case use the pen pressure or pen tail or whatever, you know. You get it. And that's that one. The other dynamics you have are opacity and flow. Again, don't have a tablet, keep them off. If you do have a tablet, put it on pen pressure. It's really cool when you have a tablet because you can actually make it look like you're drawing with a real pen. It's kind of cool. I don't know. I'm easily amused. This stuff, if you have noise on, it makes it smooth or not smooth, sort of. You know, if you know what noise is, you'll understand it better. Wet edges, that sort of makes it look more like you're painting with an actual like brush, like a traditional brush, I guess. So, and it gives the sort of a wet feel to the edges a little bit. Airbrush, well, because I have pen pressure on, you can't really still see it. Actually, I have it off, so never mind. So here, so to turn, without going through the brush pad, you can turn airbrush on and off by just clicking that. And see when you do that. I don't know. It sort of gives an airbrush to feel when you're working with it. I know you can't really tell from this, sorry. Smoothing keeps things smooth. Protect texture does that. Protect the texture. Yeah. Right on.